I did enjoy most of my army experience. However, there are heavy flaws that can't be ignored. Flaws that desperately need to be corrected. Flaws that caused many great soldiers to exit the army. So many powerful soldiers would have stayed if these toxic flaws simply disappeared for good. With that said, here are the top 5 changes I believe the army needs today. Unnecessary wars. This is still the #1 problem with our country. There is no need for aggressive offense. With such an overwhelming military presence across the world, it's time to play defense only. Defense doesn't mean bombing an entire nation. It also doesn't mean killing high-value targets. The solution should be anything but war, otherwise we're no better than the supposed enemy. Why make a bad situation worse by sending our best and bravest just to die by the enemy's hands? The only necessary war should be fought on US soil, because that's when we're truly under attack. Such a scenario is almost impossible to occur, since we're between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Aggressive, violent revenge should never be our first option when it comes to our nation's defense. Instead, all of that war money can be spent on special forces, investigations, and police operations. Remote-controlled armored convoys, complete with intelligent weapons and recon systems. A safe convoy with absolutely no soldiers at all. Essentially, it would be the same concept as flying enormous unmanned drones for attack and recon. The preservation of our soldiers' lives needs to be at the helm of the US Army's main priorities. With research and development like DARPA, future conflicts should be won using military technology. Why send a special forces soldier to do what a robot could do? Why not have such soldiers operate their own drones? Poor countries can't afford such technology, making us leaders in this category. I'm not saying to have an army of robotic terminators. All I'm proposing is more use of drones. This includes robots of all kinds. I myself had the opportunity to test a few remote-controlled drones. Explosive Ordnance Disposal Operations has drones to help preserve the lives of their soldiers. Why can't our infantry be trained to operate various types of drones? It's time to stop sending in trigger pullers, and to begin boasting the use of intelligence over brute force, instead of wasting tons of resources on armored vehicles and other extremely expensive vehicles. All of those resources could be used on all kinds of drones and thorough training operations. It really is a case of fighting smarter, not harder, and the military does have the finances to accomplish this future reality. It's merely a matter of the proper allocation of funds, management, and resources. The US Air Force alone, combined with Special Forces and Interpol, can easily end any conflict. Underpaid slave soldiers. Suicide, rape, murder, and slavery type behavior continue to pollute the Army's ranks. This causes soldiers to leave our great Army instead of signing up to continue serving our country. Of course, because with such low pay grades, soldiers don't have enough money to comfortably live off-post, the way they should be living, instead of stuff like rats in a prison called the barracks. By paying soldiers more money, starting by doubling their current salary, many would choose to stay just for that reason alone. Also, by allowing soldiers to leave the Army at will would mean even more pay for those soldiers who choose to stay, creating a sort of contracting environment. The best of the best would stay if soldiers were given the opportunity to leave the Army at any time. Why? Because they wouldn't feel like slaves with nowhere to go. They would feel far more patriotic. This is why contractors stay with a far higher salary, with the freedom to leave at any time. I know this for a fact because I was both a soldier and a contractor. The main differences are salary and freedom. Let the ones who want to leave, leave, while paying the remaining soldiers like contractors. It really is that simple. Treat soldiers like professionals. Just because we've developed a silly culture of yelling at soldiers doesn't mean it's productive. In fact, it's absolutely ridiculous and shameful that adult soldiers are yelled at like a bunch of children. Nobody signed up to be hazed like teenagers joining a city gang. Nobody cares about acting like a soldier. Those who sign up to serve should be treated with respect, honor, and professionalism. So much immaturity in our ranks today. It truly sickens me that the US Army does nothing about it. No wonder there are negligent discharges, horrible attitudes, and all kinds of abuse on and off post. Smoking a soldier for hours should be a crime. Smoking soldiers means ordering them to conduct physical training as a means of punishment. This is what I mean by slave-like behavior. Treat a person like a professional, and they will feel important. Treat them like little kids, and they will only grow resentful, careless, abusive, and will have a strong urge to quit their service as soon as possible. Eliminating all officer and enlisted ranks. As the famous saying goes, too many chiefs, not enough Indians. By getting rid of the idea of rank structure, we would end up with a real army of one, just like the Knights of the Round Table. Everyone is treated as equals. Of course, we would have leadership roles. However, by eliminating all ranks, we would attain true equality, thus preventing any kind of abuse of rank. This new member structure would simply mean equal pay and respect for all, while placing all of the Army's emphasis on completing the mission at hand. No more saluting or corruption of power. The only thing left would be the task at hand, with an entire army ready and happy to complete it.